DJ Quest One with the Drive Podcast with my co-host
Shay T.
And we're bringing you another episode. Today's episode, we're gonna talk about Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. Smack. Here's the video. Here's a little video if you see it of him smacking. What?
So did you get to see it when it happened?
No, I heard about it the next day. It's already been a week since it's happened, about going on a week and a half. But you saw it live?
Yes, I did. And I was trying to figure. So what I saw was I saw Jada laughing, I saw Will laughing, and then I saw Will go from happy to angry. Like it was just kind of like what is going on? And then he just, and I'm like, why is he slapping him? Like I was missing the whole thing.
Yeah.
So, but I guess I'm not on social media too much. So I really didn't realize that, she has alopecia.
I didn't know about that.
I mean, Chris probably didn't know about that.
Yeah, Chris, I've always liked Chris. I always thought he was, funny and, charismatic. And, of course, I'm not a real big fan of his stand-up, more of his movies. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But come on, everybody hates Chris or what?
No, everybody loves Chris. I love Chris. But, I really, so I guess let's get to me. I've talked to several people about it.
Right.
Men and women.
Right.
And different cultures.
Mm-hmm.
And some different people have different perspectives. So I had someone who had a history of bullying, and they felt vindicated when Will stood up for his wife.
Right.
Have you talked to anybody that felt that way?
Well, I've talked to some people. They felt that it boiled up. He was hiding something, or something is building inside Fresh Prince. I call him Fresh Prince. That's Fresh Prince. And he blew. Something blew. Something snapped.
Mm-hmm.
But then I want to go back to the Red Table Talk when they talk about the relationship. I think everyone saw, it's everyone from the outside looking in, that it, like her entanglement with August, I don't think that should have even been public.
Well, as I was talking to someone a few days ago, and they were sharing that there's a history between Will, Chris, and Jada. And apparently that supposedly that Jada has dated Chris or gone out on some dates or date with him at some point.
I didn't know that.
And that is supposedly, again, I wasn't present, therefore, so I had to say reportedly. So reportedly, Will had said to him already something along the lines of kind of, hey, bro, like leave my wife alone or whatever. And so here we are again, and then there's another situation where
there's some history there. Yeah, I've heard about that.
So like I like to always say, I mean, just something, things not always what they appear.
Right.
So the base thing that people will go to is, the alopecia.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't really have the finite history, the finite history with facts from both sides. Right.
I think the way he did it, the way he went about it is, and then he said, keep my wife's name out your mother.
I was like,
mouth, like loud.
I was flabbergasted.
Then you were like, because Fresh Prince, Will Smith, Big Willie style is always known to be like a nice guy. He's everyone loves working with him, this and that. But I want to take it back to Tupac. Will Smith did not like Tupac because of Jada and Tupac's history.
But that's none of his business. I mean, it happened in the past. It's before you. And why are you letting why are we together if my history is going to affect the present?
So he thinks that there was more than just friendship, which I believe that they might have had some type of little relationship, Tupac and Jada, going back to 96. You
Who
know,
knows?
who knows?
But only two people,
Only two people know,
and one is in heaven.
and so he in the book he has a book out and he talks like he didn't have the guts or he didn't even want to talk to Tupac.
But why would he need to? That's none of his business.
Yeah.
I mean,
he won. He has Jada.
Everybody has a past. Like if you focus. So my great example I like to give, I think it's a great example, is for example, you are a track star and you're running but you keep looking behind you. I mean, eventually you're going to trip over your own feet because you can't just focus on what's in front of you. So
insecurity.
Yeah. So if you have this lady, she's with you, you're in a relationship, you're enjoying each other, why not just live in the moment? Let that be that, instead of thinking in terms of who's been here, who hasn't been here, what it was, who cares?
And then there's more to it. There's the Dwayne Martin that Fresh Prince goes on exotic vacations with on Will's dime. And Jada and Tisha Campbell, who came out on Martin, was married to Dwayne Martin. They stay home while they go on vacation together. I don't know the details on that. I don't want to insinuate anything, but I mean, if I don't ever go to exotic cruises unless I'm with my woman.
Or a group maybe. But so I would say that, for example, I've known guys that would be a group of guys that would travel.
Yes.
But
what do you think about that?
Well, I think that this is what I think, because everybody has their own ideas about being straight, being gay, being lesbian, being, all the alphabet. I just like to, the bottom line is this. You know what? You're born, you live, and you die.
Right.
And if within your marriage, everybody agrees to whatever both parties are doing, that's adult stuff, adult business.
Right.
And I believe that each person should be free to live their lives as long as they're not harming anyone else.
Right.
And so that is what brings me back to the slap, because I think one of the big things for me was, I think that even though people aren't mentally signing up to be role models, that it's what you become because you put yourself out there in public. And when you put yourself out there in public, people are looking at you. So it's just like me going somewhere, leaving here and going to do something really crazy out in public, and people are like, but wasn't she the one who said, and she was like this? Okay, no, it's like, you have to be that consistent person, whatever that is. And for young men, namely young African American men, or young brown and black men that are looking up to him, that are already trying to solve their problems by fighting and guns and in negative ways, then they look up to him and say, oh, okay, this is good. Okay, so, all right, this is how we solve problems.
That's another thing. He set an example because he's a role model. So are these kids saying it's okay to slap someone else?
It's all right to be violent.
Yeah.
I think that's what they took from that. It's okay to be violent. And that is a part, I think, just as a parent, that really hurt me the most, because some kids that have fathers that aren't great role models or don't have a dad around, and they look up to, for example, and I hate to bring his name up in the midst of this mess, but like Denzel, like, oh my God, I love Denzel. And I think
he sets by example.
And so I think it's so important, because you talk about billions of dollars in that one room, that it should have been possible to say, you know what, he and I are going to talk about this backstage.
Or at the after party. And, speaking of that, the repercussions of that, him going up there slapping Chris Rock, I would have done it different. I would have talked to him on the side. I would have talked to him,
Invited him out to lunch.
Yeah. And say, hey, that's not funny. That really wasn't funny. But now there's the repercussions. But Jada said that she didn't tell him to go up there and slap Chris. But she rolled her eyes, though.
She did not use words. It was her body language. However, Will is a grown man who has to demonstrate some level of self-control, or he would have never been able to make all of the blockbuster movies he's made if he would have not been able to demonstrate some self-control. Because Hollywood is Hollywood, and so if we can't work with you too much, over time that's gonna be a problem. So,
do you think he would have done that if it would have been The Rock up there?
You know the answer to that question.
I don't know.
You know the answer to that question.
Someone big, like
It
Jason.
could have been Mike Tyson. Nobody would. It's a lot of people he would not have touched up there.
He could have touched August. I mean, August had an entanglement with his wife.
It's a lot of people that could have been up there that he would not have touched. And
poor little Chris. Chris is 160 pounds wet, 5'9".
Well, the good thing for Chris is that, you know what, it made his tickets go up. So he's banking on this. I mean, the good thing.
And he can also tell jokes off of that.
But he hasn't chosen to yet. I think that, again, the part that we talk about, that there's so much behind the scenes that we are not privy to. That's right. And so I think he wants to be legally okay. I think that he wants to be classy about it. I think that I appreciate Chris Rock because he stood there and he took it like a man and was like, okay, I'll deal with this in my own way. And so even when you go back to the Bible, it talks about, turn another cheek. I mean, and I think that when you get to walk away and think about being strategic in the matter, that is, how you can come out on top. But if you just respond in the moment, then you lose all opportunity to be strategic and make it worthwhile. Chess. That's right. Like playing chess. That's right.
Mm-hmm. Damn, he won. Shout out to Will for winning the Oscar. I saw the movie King Richard. He did a phenomenal job, but all that hard work for what?
Well,
that's just... And then he cries. And I don't know if he was crying because he was embarrassed or he was crying because he
realized that moment.
Yeah. Express the moment, what he did. Like he says, oh man, I messed up. Like, what just happened? And things can happen on the fly, but things when you put your hands on someone, I'm not okay with that. I'm sorry. Like, I was even a fan of Fresh Prince before he was Fresh Prince the show. I had his tape. He's a DJ. I'm the rapper. DJ Jazzy Jeff.
Right.
That's one of my first rap tapes. I looked up to him. I was like, this guy is... But now, me being an adult, this is me, 7, 8-year-old, little Quest. Running around knowing every single word to parents just don't understand, to be like, this is a friendly rapper. Well, he's an actor now. He's not a rapper no more, right? So him putting hands on someone, on Pookie, it's not okay. Now let's talk about the repercussions.